patience to stick around for that agonizing 10 seconds without us, but here we are. Move. Gotta move it. I got to move it. Move it. Alright. There is that. And. Alright. This. And this. And this. Ha 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 ha. Let's check. Go. Look up. There we go. Alright. Hopefully that's a good guys. And damn. I will be right back. What up, guys?
Hey, you didn't mute it?
What? No.
They can totally hear you.
Yeah, good. I want them to hear me. I want them to hear. They should hear. They should hear it all. As I eat my my stick of cheese. Like legit. So fucking hungry right now, but that'll have to wait. not sure. Thor was terrible. Gore said he would reply. Or Gore said he would kill all gods, but relied on God to kill them. How do you rely on God? He relied on a curse, right? A cursed sword. A cursed sword. Oh, wow. Shotsky. Wow, you have such a, like, that's such a, you know, an enlightened and thoughtful and, you know, provocative view, you know. You're just, like, you radiate just,
You need a relaxing candle.
you radiate intelligence right there.
You should use a relaxing candle. I'll get you a relaxing
Radiated. Radiated. People like that are so sad. I just try to imagine their lives. How sad they are. And I can't. I've been really sad before, and I've been like, how do you get so sad that, like, your sadness and depression just lashes out into that? It's really hard for me to comprehend. I try, though. I always try to be a very empathetic, like, person, but some people make it hard trying to get in their mind. It's like trying to get in the mind of a serial killer or something. Like, that can be kind of hard, right? It's like you can kind of try and imagine what that's like, but you can't ever really get in the mind of a serial killer, right? Because those people are just so fucked up. Right? Can't do it. Empathy only works so far. You can get in the mind of it, like a serial, like John Wayne Gacy, like a dude who just dresses up like a clown and hits people. Like, you can get into that mind.
Yeah, just their experiences of the world and how they perceive them.
I mean, sure that you can simplify it down to that, but like, how can you actually get into the mind of someone who is dressing up like a clown and fucking murdering evil people? Like, how do you get there? You know, like, what is going through their mind? It's hard, is my point. That's not an easy thing most of us people can do, and that's the same thing with some of these trolls. You know, it's like, in theory, I can sort of get where they're coming from. Like, yeah, they're super sad and their life was fucked up, but like, we can't pretend that we can actually understand that. We can't. Just the way you can't say like, oh, I get you, it's like your black experience, or I get your trans experience, or anything like that. You can't possibly get that. There's always going to be some level of disconnect there. You can try, but like, there's a point where they're just so far, and
they can say the same thing about you.
Sure, they can, and that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. That's my entire point. That is the problem, that we can't understand each other, because that's where all this conflict and whatnot arises from. It's from lack of communication. You know, it's like people not understanding
I don't think it's a lack of
each
communication.
other.
I think it's a lack of empathy.
I mean, they're the same thing. If you can communicate what you, like, your actual feelings and, like, your perception, if you could actually communicate that, you know, if you had, like, Spock mind meld and you can put the fucking, like, your experience into their mind, none of this shit would ever happen. People would be like, oh my god, it clicks, I understand it, you know, but that's just not possible. And that's because we don't have the tools to communicate, like, our actual life experiences, because they're so complex and all that, and, you know, it's just,
You know my
it's
reasoning
hard sometimes.
for the
It's hard.
far left and the far right.
What's that?
Their lack of empathy.
Lack of, I mean, sure, yeah.
If you're a moderate, you can see both sides and see where they're coming from. But whenever they're coming to attack you about who you are as a person, and they don't understand like where your suffering is coming from at all, that's a lack of empathy. Same as with the left.
I don't know if it's a lack, I don't know if it's a lack of empathy or necessarily. It's just that there's a point where empathy no longer works, where it turns into faith. Which is a different thing altogether. You can no longer understand that, because empathy is based on understanding. You can't understand that anymore. It goes beyond what you're possibly capable of comprehending, and you have to take a leap of faith. That's what it comes down to. It's a lack of faith. Ironically, I feel it boils down to a lack of faith from someone who's non-religious, you know, like, and
like a lack of a benefit of a doubt.
no, just lack of faith that someone's experience is real, basically, is what it boils down to. You know, I'm capable of doing that. I can't understand it. I can't have empathy because it's beyond my comprehension, but, like, I can recognize that someone who's doing that shit, they weren't born inherently bad. They weren't, like, you know, there's shit going on there that's beyond their control too, you know? Serial killers and shit like that, they aren't fucking born. They're made. And, like, I have faith in that. And, you know, people, even if you can't comprehend, for example, the trans experience and what that's like, you don't need to. You just need to have a little faith that no one would do that fucking crazy shit unless they absolutely had to. You know? That's what it boils down to. You just need to have a little faith. It's not people out there trying to manipulate the system. It's not people, you know, these are a lot of arguments that the far right makes against trans, for example, you know, trying to get an advantage in this. They're just trying to, you know, be a pervert and people on girls, like, whatever. There's sexual deviants. I mean, they make millions of random fucking arguments, but all it takes is a little faith when it comes down to it. That people aren't born fucking crazy. And people don't do shit that might seem crazy to you without actual reason behind it. And I firmly believe that. Even if I can't always understand it myself, if I don't have, like, I don't have the life experience to be empathetic with them. I can't comprehend, you know, what has made, like, someone such a malicious person that they want to come into a channel, for example, and just hate on someone or just generally be, try their best to be, seems like to all of us, a terrible person. I can't personally empathize or comprehend that, but what I can comprehend is that they weren't just born a terrible person, and their life experiences have made them that way. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I can't relate. I would never do that. But, I can at least try and see that perspective, I guess. Oh yeah? What up? This doesn't even come on. Yeah. True. True. True.
If you're gonna keep streaming and drinking, though, you're not gonna wake me up at 4 a.m. You're gonna sleep in my bed. Deal?
Word. Why are there ducks in here? Why are there so many fucking ducks in here?
Why did it take you this long to notice?
Ducks. Ducks.
It's not one.
Huh?
Not one.
Ducky doo. It's so hard to get into minds that lack human emotions and empathy. I mean, I think it's hard to get in people's minds in general, but it doesn't mean we can't try. We can try. We can do our best. But humans are fucking complex when it comes down to it. If they weren't, we could replicate them. We could create AIs already that could mimic the human experience, but that is clearly not the case. We're still super far from that, and that's because humans are pretty fucking complex. Very advanced computers. Wet computers up here.
I don't consider it.
You don't want them?
I don't consider humans computers. I think there's a lot of wasted energy and brain power going into computations of everything. It doesn't need to be needed. It's not needed. It can be displayed and ran by a machine.
I mean,
Humans are more meant for creativity.
I disagree. I think we are insanely efficient, so efficient that that's part of the reason that we can't even come close to replicating it, both in like just our storage power, our reasoning capability, just our flexibility, all those things. We can't even come close to replicating that kind of stuff, and
Because a human brain isn't a computer.
it is though.
It's not. If you can't replicate it, you can't comprehend it. It's not
No.
a computer.
Just because we can't now doesn't mean we can't in the future.
Why would you want
It
to?
just, of course we want to.
Why would you want
That's
to?
a human goal. Like, I mean,
Why do
obviously
you
we
think
want
it's
to,
a human goal?
because we want to understand ourselves. If we understand ourselves, that means we'd be able to duplicate it. We actually understand ourselves and how it all works, and that's always going to be a drive. That's human nature, our general curiosity and desire to learn everything we can about the world that we live in.
But even when you do make a machine that is fully capable of human capacity, will we accept it as fully capable of human capacity?
Probably.
Think so? Do you think if a machine can think and walk around and act like a human, that humans will think, yeah, that's a human?
Yep. Over time. I mean, the same way that, like, black people took time, you know? For a long time, they were considered subhuman and whatnot, you know? And, like, I mean, it's still not perfect today, even, but, like, it's certainly come a long ways from how it was a few hundred years ago. Like, people aren't trying to argue that they get 3/5 of a vote or anything anymore, you know?
I feel like I get 3/5 of a vote.
Ooh, spicier. Spicy. But yeah, there is an overflow drain, and I am gonna drain it a little extra too, just so I can get more hotsy totsy in here. Oh yeah. There we go. Good shit. Huh? Chad, did we die? I mean, did you? Comedians are the best at getting in people's heads because they have to relate to experience. I agree. I'm absolutely with you there on comedians. I've always had the utmost respect of comedians. Comedians are at the forefront of social change too. They always have been, because like they're the first ones to say it, because it's easier for people to accept things as a joke than as a reality. You know, you can't just like come out there, for example, and start with the trans stuff out of nowhere and starting to try that. You know, it's like comedians first who are making jokes about it, and that kind of shit makes people less uncomfortable with it. Oh, you just meant that everyone stopped texting. Okay. You think AI will eventually understand love? I think so too. I agree. I agree.
Is it though?
No, I agree, because I mean, I think we are essentially just computers. We're advanced computers that are beyond our current technological level, but we're not much more than computers.
I think even
And
getting
so-
to that requires a lot of ASD research. You know how, you know, actually, you've read this part of my thesis and you haven't just read this, and I didn't say.
Oh yeah.
It's not though, I see it.
A huge dick daddy? Who are you talking about? No, that's not the name. It's what they typed. But yeah, I don't know what you're referring to. So, you know, I'm not the one with a dick. And J.J. Watkins, thank you for the stars. Appreciate it. Yeah, I can understand love very well. I cannot comprehend love, maybe. I mean, well, yeah. Right now, obviously, that shit is like nowhere near our capabilities. It's got a long ways to go, but I do believe it'll get there eventually. It will get there. Oh yeah, what's your theory? I don't know what that means.
Right on the wall.
Sure. Right on the wall. You may write on the wall.
I will do it in what color? Red?
Sure. If it writes, I mean, I don't know which one's right.
Blue. So, my thought process to it is, ooh, it's nice in here.
It is nice. Yeah, no, I made it nice.
It's very nice. My theory is that right now we have little mini machine programs, right, of AI. It's like this is the Google search engine, this is the Google search engine. There's a, oh, this person.
You're too high to be on.
I mean, I can't. You want me to
No, I meant like you're writing.
Oh, I see.
You can write lower. Right here is like the range right here.
Okay. So this is the Google search engine. I'm gonna sit down now, okay? This is Amazon recommending you packages or whatever. It's an AI. This is an AI fighting you in Diablo being an immortal, okay? All these things are really good at specific tasks, right? What I think is gonna end up happening is, imagine this is our brain. Okay? You're gonna have to do this later. Each of these things is controlled by the brain to connect to different neurons. So it's saying that because of my past experiences, I now have an algorithm, like a computer paradigm. I have a master's in computer science, guys. So, I have a human paradigm, me as an AI, to make a decision based on what is needed in that moment. And some events are going to happen that's going to trigger a different event for me to go back and think, oh, I actually need to be using this AI specialty. And I can even get all these answers from different AI specialties and make one single answer. And that is the solution to artificial intelligence that we're not able to do yet because we don't have the capacity or the data. Yay! I'm leaving. Here you go.
Okay. Alright, guys.
Ow.
Thoughts there. Thoughts. Get the other girl to replace your spot. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Are you saying you want her to replace me? I don't even know. Or do you want me to replace her? I don't even know. H-Dog is like coming through. People pay tuition for that shit. I mean, yeah. They definitely pay a lot of tuition to get a fucking master's degree. You can make $500,000 in 3 years if you want to. It means you're extra cute. Who does it though? I don't know what anything means anymore. Because people talk about us using just general pronouns, and it's hard to know when we're just referred to as girl or other girl, you know? Who's talking about who? They don't reference that though. They just say girl and other girl, so kind of hard to differentiate sometimes. Where's the other girl? That she's just standing there naked. 100% naked. It's my sister. Yes. My sister. We do. We make out because we're close. I mean, that's what sisters do, right? We shower together, bathe together, like sisters do. Help each other out. Right, guys? Am I right? What are you doing, stepsister? No. Let's cut the bullshit. No step nonsense. Just sister. Not even half sister. Just full-blooded sister.
People are gonna take you seriously.
They should.
They should not.
Why? I mean, it's the truth.
That's not very nice.
I do get stuck in the dryer a lot, or just, random places, and it's weird because, what's really weird is every time I get stuck, for some reason, my pants are down. I don't know how it happens. Like, it's fucking crazy. It's almost like someone's messing with me, but, I get stuck all these places. My pants are down. I'm not wearing any underwear that day. And it's just, that's how it works. God damn. Can't explain it. That's just what happens. Just what fucking happens. You think combined, you two could be the next Musk. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, someone sees it. Hashtag co-dominance. Stand straight. Dude. Alright, guys. Where do we go from here? I mean, it feels like at this point, it just feels like we peaked. I just feel like I hit a point where nothing I say could be topped right now. And so...
Oh yeah, you're so amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I said everything so well, so perfectly. Hilarious and fucking,
A little bit intoxicated.
hilarious and,
You weren't like an hour and a half ago.
right on point and everything, and it's just, how can it be topped right now? That's what it's feeling like. It's feeling like peaking.
Oh, you can put a countdown on the screen. I can get you a truly, and the countdown can be like 5 minutes or something. You get some people to come in, and then you're gonna do like a shotgun in the tub.
You want me to shotgun it?
Yeah. But the condition is
What?
you need to people need to like and share and follow and add bits.
How about a shot?
No, shot's not fun. You get to do that thing you were talking about that you were doing with such good information. You need to do it. You need to show me what it is.
No, it's terrible.
I've never seen it before in my life. You need to show me.
I did that at like 20. It's terrible, and I said never again.
Well,
I'm not gonna do it fucking now.
You need to show me.
We'll meet up with Yazzie, and he will show you.
I don't want to see you do it. Watch it with Yazzie, because he'll probably make me do it, and I can't do it.
No, he won't. But anyways, a shot is on the table.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Well, unless you want me to
guess
get you a shot, I'll get you a shot if you want. I was just talking about chocolates.
Yeah. No, I was saying a shot is on the table that we could do.
Is that a timer too?
With the timer.
Okay, that's what
Yeah, no, we could do a timer with a shot. Music is too loud. Okay, I can turn it down. And I can turn it up there. It's hard to hear, Haley. Alright. I'll do a little bit lower on it. And you know what? Chris Barrett. What's up? It's been a while, dude. It's been a day. We'll pull up the timer. Let me see if I got it there. Timer. Start. Let's start. Where is it? By crikey, I will do it. My friend. Where are you? Why? ¿Por qué? Google search. Dude, I'm trying. Ah, oh no. Why will you not get bigger, bro?
Should I get some Viagra?
Viagra? Where's the Viagra at?
Because you said it wouldn't get bigger.
Get some Viagra. Viagra? Yes. Yes. Window capture, there it is. What do I have to do? One, add add new source instead. Boom. And we'll add this one. But where? Fuck. Dude, I can't get it. I have no idea why it's not working, but it's not fucking working. I can't get the timer up there. Blast. It just won't do it. I have everything right. It's just not working. I've done this so many times. And I won't do it. So we're just going to have to ignore that. We're going to ignore it. Alright, guys. Haley, you like that name. Word. What's my view on spirituality and religion? Religion is shit. Religion is shit. It's true though. It's a big source of most of the problems in the world.
Organized religion is, not religion.
No, that is religion though.
Please stop.
Beliefs. You may believe whatever you want to believe in. That's totally valid. Religion,
you're just
bullshit.
Technical terms now.
No.
Religion and beliefs are synonyms. Organized religion is organized religion.
Just religion's garbage. Believe whatever you want to believe.
Okay, beliefs are valid. And people in organized religions have beliefs. But whenever it's organized, that's where they have to...
If a tree fell down and the North Pole doesn't make a noise. It's an ancient, Buddhist expression. If a tree falls in the woods, does anyone hear it? And the truth is, what quantum physics says about that actually is no. It does not. It does not make a sound. It is our observation of reality that makes reality so. That's why I believe essentially that we are all gods. We are all the masters of our own realities, which makes us gods in a sense. What all evidence says is things do not exist without us observing that they exist. It is our observations that make things exist. So in that way, we are creating reality, essentially. We are, and by most people's definitions, that makes us God. We are almost the definition of what most people consider God.
What do you consider interpretation of creating reality? Like reality for yourself or reality as a whole in the universe?
No, reality as a whole in the universe, as in without us observing it. If there's no one there to observe it, it ceases to exist.
For yourself specifically?
No. For the entirety. It ceases to exist. It's only the observation of something that makes it exist.
Do you think it's because there's so much noise happening in the whole entire globe of the multiverses that one tiny fraction of a point of a thing doesn't actually exist in the grand scheme of things, and it's approaching too much to zero, approaching infinity? So therefore, for us to perceive something, that's when it would actually have meaning. But to the whole grand scheme of the universe, we're at the infinity line, the tiny tree breaking in the woods on some random planet in some random universe doesn't actually exist.
No.
Because that's math.
No.
Is that not math? You're good at math.
No. What I think, as far as what all this means and what it adds up from what we have actually observed on the quantum level and those sorts of things, is that essentially, we live in a simulation. And, like, there's no point for the simulation to create anything if no one's there to observe it. Just like if you were in an MMORPG, for example. It's not going to be creating dungeons and monsters and having them interacting when there's absolutely no one there to observe it. That's what it boils down to. That's logical, right? It's just basic computer logic. Why would you waste resources on such a thing? And the same logic can be applied here, because honestly, that's what evidence says that we've collected says is happening, is that when we're not observing it, that just doesn't exist, which makes absolute sense when you look at computer resources and those sort of things. Why would you bother wasting resources on animating and, like, creating things that don't need to exist because no one's there to fucking interact with them? That's what it boils down to. And no, it's not so if your reality sucks, it's because you want it to. That's not necessarily it at all. It's that, I mean, that doesn't, all that is saying is that the reality we live in is a computer simulation, essentially, but that doesn't say that we have complete control over the simulation. Just that we are essentially, I mean, when I say that we are gods, it means that, like, in the sense that we can create things just by observing them, and that things only exist because we observe them, and that in some people's definitions would be a god, but not that we have complete control over everything. Different things. If that's true, that further leads me to think that this reality is a matrix. I mean, yeah, essentially. People might think it's funny and laugh it off a lot or whatever, but, like, a lot of the top quantum physicists and people who have actually bothered studying this stuff have come to these kinds of conclusions. I mean, like, we can't prove it, but, like, all the evidence that is out there kind of points very heavily, at least, to this being a very strong possibility. And, you know, I'm not willing to say that that's absolutely what's happening, because that's the fucked up part of religion. You know, I'm not going to be so arrogant to say, like, oh, I know beyond, without a reasonable doubt that this is what's happening. But I will say that, like, thus far, most of the evidence has pointed in this direction, and there's a lot of people out there who like to kind of brush it off or come up with other reasons, but when you really put it all together, it makes a lot of fucking sense, and there's a lot of really fucking smart people out there too, and famous people who would absolutely agree with those assessments. If things exist because we observe it, we live in a matrix, a false reality. Maybe. I mean, that's making a lot of assumptions, though, again, too. Possibly. I mean, I agree that, I mean, simulation theory in general, if someone put a gun to my head and you're like, you know, either answer this correctly, what is the nature of the universe or whatever, you know, or you're gonna basically be tortured for all eternity, whatever, you know. It's like, I'd be like, simulation theory. You know, when it comes to, if I had to guess, I'd say what the most evidence points to at this point is, yeah, that we're fucking living in some kind of simulation. I couldn't say what the point of that simulation is. I couldn't even begin to guess what the reason for the simulation is, how it began to exist, what kind of greater beings possibly could have created it. None of that shit. No one could fucking pretend to know those answers. They're absolutely impossible. I can't pretend to, but I can say there's a lot of fucking evidence that, you know, this is more or less a very complex computer simulation. When I say computer, people tend to think, oh, it's like our computers. But no, it's like computer is like computer that's so far advanced, billions of years advanced, to a point that it's beyond our comprehension. And that's the thing. That's the disconnect I think people get with that stuff. They're like, oh, I'm like looking at our computers and they can't make that connection. And it's because you can't make that connection. It's beyond your comprehension. If we could comprehend it, we would understand it. It doesn't work like that, though. It's the problem with science. Just because it haven't been disproven means it's a possible ability, no matter how outlandish. I mean, not really. I don't see how that's a problem. And also not really true. I mean, just because something is not disproven, you can't completely discount it, but when something has mountains of evidence pointing towards it, and also there's absolutely no disproving it, it's hard to discount that. Not the same things. It's not saying like, oh, we were placed here by aliens. You know, can't disprove that, but also, as much as there's some crazy people out there who would like to, you know, argue that kind of nonsense. I'd love that if it was true, but anyone who actually bothers to give a shit about science and actual logic and actual facts at all, you can see that's absolutely not true. Zero evidence. Not impossible, but not likely. But something like simulation theory, there's a lot of fucking evidence out there that is rather compelling. Can't say it for sure. Certainly cannot do that, but definitely can't discount it. And yeah, I don't see that as a problem with science at all. There's a lot of people out there who try and spout pseudoscience or pretend science or whatever it is and act like it's logic or science or any of those things to kind of prove their points, and that shit is mostly garbage. Just garbage is what it is. Computer could be a cotton gin or atomic exchange of charges. Probabilistic realities existing simultaneously until a specific outcome is observed to be, like domain and codomain. I feel like you're getting into multiverse sort of stuff there, and like there's things like quantum suicide, which isn't a logic sort of puzzle, or Schrodinger's cat, and those kind of things, and multiple realities and all that sort of stuff. I certainly can't disprove them. And if we're running on a theory that it's a computer that's so far advanced and so far beyond our comprehension, that it just doesn't even, we can't even register it, because you can make arguments like, oh, you can't physically have that kind of data processed within the universe, from what we understand, sure. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not possible, but maybe, there's the arguments that, for instance, with the multiple realities and universes theory, that, every time a quark spins, and picks a direction, it decides a very minor outcome in the universe. Essentially, the way they make it more of a thought experience and explainable to people, the idea of quantum suicide. For instance, you load a gun, the bullet to your head, and pull the trigger, and the quark will spin, and sometimes it might click and it won't fire, and you continue to live on. But the quark also will spin and it will fire, and you die. And then the universe is split because of that. Every single time there's every decision, quark picking a different direction like that, and creates essentially infinite multiple realities. And who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? It's hard. It can be hard for people to integrate all that stuff amongst all the evidence and all the science we actually have out there. And that's why people go to things like religion. It's simple, oh yes, there's a God. He tells me what to do. I don't have to think. Nice and simple. No thought required, just do. Hate gay people. Do whatever, whatever my masters tell me, because that shit's easier, right? You have to bother with critical thinking or trying to integrate all these different ideas together into some kind of cohesive concept of reality for yourself. Yeah, it's a lot fucking easier. That's why the vast majority of people out there do it. I can't really blame them for that, yeah. Shit is complicated and crazy, and, if you want to actually look at all of it, it's fucking hard to piece all that shit together. I can't pretend to do it, all I can pretend to do is that I try. I make an effort. I don't just accept some general bullshit because some dude said it thousands of years. Some dude who had no fucking concept of, basic shit that we knew now about science claimed thousands of years ago. You know, I'm not gonna take that shit as fucking gospel, but hey, still trying to understand it. And that's what I respect, I guess, is, I mean, as long as you're still trying, at least, good on you. Your opinion is that people's brains work on the senses you have, except there's a sixth sense people have forgotten or yet to learn. That sense gives us access to the universal computer. Enable us to access high wisdom, knowledge, etc. Fuck yeah. I mean, I certainly can't argue against that, and I can't say that there's significant evidence against that, but I definitely can't say that there's much evidence for that either, you know? You know, there's a lot out there we just, in general, don't understand yet. And that's okay. Just because there's a lot of shit out there we don't understand, that doesn't mean we need to just go to something that we know inherently is wrong. You know, like, oh, the earth is 6,000 years old. God created us then. I mean, like, a lot of people do that. They turn to that just because they're uncomfortable with the idea of uncertainty. To some people, the idea of uncertainty is just way too uncomfortable for them to handle. And I get it, I guess, but it's sad and disappointing to me too. I wish we could be better than that. We could be more okay with uncertainty. So is it really that fucking terrifying to say that, you know, like, I'm not fucking sure. I don't really know everything about this world, and that's okay. That's okay. A lot of people out there who aren't willing to admit that. Aren't willing to say there's shit out there I don't understand, I can't comprehend, you know. That's okay. Doesn't make it evil. Doesn't make it bad. It doesn't make it anything. It just means I'm not capable of understanding it yet. Maybe one day I will, maybe one day I won't, who knows, but it's okay. People need to be a little more okay with just being uncomfortable on occasion, not absolutely understanding everything. Being okay with that. Still no beer. Why have I forsaken that? What sucks is that people choose to remain completely in dark when it comes to higher consciousness. I mean, you are certainly uncertain about many things you used to be certain about. Same. There are things, I mean, I've definitely changed my opinion on many things as over time as more knowledge has come to light. You don't have kids or livestock. Maybe a rubber duck sacrifice. You'll be back. All right, I got you. Dude, I got you. Look at that. Oh my god, look at this. It's raining fucking ducks. It's raining ducks in here. Did you hear that shit? Did you hear that shit? Did you guys hear that? Duck's a monster. Fucking monster. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Alright. Oh my god. Alright. I have the hiccups. How the fuck do I have the hiccups? I have the hiccups. But guys. Wow. I got the hiccups out of fucking nowhere. I love you guys. Thank you. Dude. Everyone for coming by. Love you guys. And wow, this is bad. Good night, guys.